All right, so welcome to today is Tuesday's edition of Performance Seminar. We have two planned performers. We have one currently present, so we'll get started with that. So our first performer for today is going to be Emma, who is going to announce her name and the piece that she'll be playing for us as well. If you want to go ahead.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I'll be playing Bagatelle No. 2.
So that was Emma playing Bagatelle No. 2 by Valentin Sylvestrov. Sorry, I got a little mixed up on the page turning, so I got a little lost. So it might not have been super accurate. Okay, so I'm gonna start the poll, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So the poll is active now, so everyone can start filling that out, except for Emma, of course. And then if you have any verbal feedback, you can just raise your hand. Yeah, Matt, if you want to go ahead. Oh, sorry.
So I thought, yeah, I think you add like more lighting, and also I think the left hand could be a lot softer because it was kind of like a bit too out for my tastes.
Yeah, definitely agree with those points. Anyone else have any verbal feedback to give? Try to make me get, there's a pretty small performance in there. Let's see if we get one more person. Yeah, Bella, if you want to go ahead.
I think that you did pretty well, but I think you could work on the movement and paying more attention to the dynamics, since I noticed in the beginning it was quite heavy.
Yeah, definitely agree with that as well. All right, cool. So let's take a look at the poll since we have all the responses filled out, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so in terms of dynamics, you got 2 votes for 3 and 1 vote for 4. Yeah, definitely. I agree with the points, the point that what Bella said. There were some points where it felt very heavy at some times, especially in the beginning. Most of the dynamics are between piano, pianissimo, so it's a really, really subtle change in the dynamics. So it is really, really challenging in that sense. But and you definitely played with a mostly soft dynamic, but I think definitely you could probably go a little bit softer in terms of the expression of it. And then in terms of the balance, because balance isn't really addressed in the poll, or it is addressed in the poll. Actually, I'll get to that later then. All right, so, but yeah, so 2 votes for 3 and 1 vote for 4 in terms of your dynamics. In terms of articulation, you got 3 votes for 4, and yeah, articulation was pretty good. That was pretty clean, and I don't really have much to really comment on in terms of that. Balance, you got 2 votes for 3 and 1 vote for 4. This is also another point. Yeah, it was pretty good for the most part, but as Matt mentioned, the left hand did come off a bit heavy at sometimes. And that could do a lot with range because the left hand part is really, really low. And because of that, lower notes tend to cut through a bit more just because of the frequency. So just kind of being very careful with that and kind of keeping in mind that the lower notes can be perceived to be a lot louder, even if you are playing very softly sometimes, especially if they're in a super low range like it is in this piece. The next part on balance, you got 2 votes for 3. Oh wait, did I go over balance? I already went over balance, yeah. So phrasing, sorry, I'm getting lost. So phrasing, you got 3 votes for 3. Yeah, phrasing was all right. I think that would probably be the biggest thing to work on into this piece. There were some sections where I think there were either some pauses or parts you were unsure of. I'm not quite sure what happened, but the phrasing, it was pretty smooth in terms of playing through it, but definitely working on the phrasing of the sections and making sure that each part is kind of a little bit more cohesive and there's less, I would say, I'd describe it as like breaks or pauses in between to kind of help with that. And then on the last part, movement, you got 2 votes for 3 and 1 vote for 4. And movement was okay. I think you can definitely add more. This piece definitely asked for a lot of movement because of the arpeggios, because of the time signature, because of the way it's written. I think you can definitely move a lot more with the music as you're playing through it. But overall, yeah. Okay, so good job on that.